Hello, we're going to talk about the lungs. The team members are Emilio Juarez, Gilberto Garza, Gustavo Páez, Mónica Serrano, Paola Diaz, Paola Rocha, and Sofia Sevilla.
The lungs. They are located on the thoracic cavity. They are protected by the rib cages, and the best way to study them is through the coronal plane. They are divided into two organs, the left lung and the right lung. Each lung is divided into minimum two Also, the heart. This organ contracts to send blood to the whole body. It is located on the left side of the chest in the thoracic cavity. In the thoracic cavity. Its function is to send blood to all parts of the body, and it does this within a heartbeat.
While the baby is inside the mother's womb, it depends on almost all the mother's organs for surviving. Lungs start forming during the 4th week of the baby's development. The lungs are breathing organs, so the fetus doesn't need them, but they should form and develop before the baby's birth. During the fetus is inside of the mother, it doesn't use them. They get oxygen from their mom by the umbilical cord. That's why it's important that the mom breathes clean air. The lungs are the last organ to completely develop. At birth, lungs start working for taking in oxygen and removing carbon dioxide from his blood.
The lungs are made by two different types of tissues, which are pseudostratified epithelium and elastic tissue. There are many types of epithelium in the lung. This tissue can have many things over it, like cilia or goblets. Goblets are specialized epithelium that secretes mucus. Cilia are tiny hair-like projections in our lungs. Cilia helps moving back the mucus to the throat. Also, cilia can be damaged or destroyed by smoking. The elastic tissue in the lungs helps them to inflate without losing their shape.
In the lungs, we can have many diseases, but one of the most common diseases is emphysema. This disease can cause you serious problems for breathing and also coughing. And the most cases is by smoking. You can prevent emphysema by stop smoking and be in places of smoking free. Also, another common disease in the lungs is the asthma. This common disease is asthma. This disease can cause you problems for breathing and a lot of coughing. This is because the airways is producing a lot of mucus. This can be prevented by a healthy diet and a healthy life, and if you have asthma, you always have to carry your inhaler.
The lungs are in the group of organs and tissue. These ones work all together to help us breathe. This system is called the respiratory system. This helps us moving the fresh air into and get some wasted gases out of our body. In the lungs is located the air that comes into the body that contains oxygen and other gases. Oxygen goes through the bloodstream and carried through the body. The oxygen cells are exchanged of a gases called carbon dioxide. Then the bloodstream carries some wasted gas back to our lungs, where here the waste gas is removed and then exhaled from the body. This process is called gas exchange. The lungs are also involved in inhalation, inspiration, and exhalation, expiration. The diaphragm is also part of this, so when it's moved down or flattens and the ribs move outward, the lungs expand and the air goes in. The process is called inspiration. This process is called inhalation. The exhalation process is when the diaphragm relaxes and the air leaves the lungs and everything moves back to the original position.
Thank you! The lungs can be divided into right and left, but for further division we can look at them at the right one, for example, into 3 lobes: superior, middle, and inferior, divided by intravascular fissure. The middle lobe has a wedge-like shape, and the 3rd lobe is the smallest size. If we look at the left lung, which only has 2 divisions, which are the upper and the lower one, and the bigger and the upper one, the lower, is the bigger one, and the upper takes almost all the base. The lungs have an outside serous coat and the parenchyma, which is a serous coat called by experts, which is the pleura, and it's a transparent layer that covers them completely. Then the subserous areolar tissue has an elastic fiber, and this tissue covers the lungs. Yet this goes inside and stays between the lobes. The parenchyma is another section of the lobes that is tightened by the areolar tissue, and it's not different from others. They don't have any specific size. Now we're going to talk about the bronchs. They have two divisions. They cover up most of the organ. The subdivision is made up The subdivision is made up from lobular bronchs, and the other one, which is the largest one, is made of fibrous tissue and smooth muscle. The mucous membrane, which is the layer ciliated by epithelial tissue, the alveoli. The alveoli is arranged by a squamous layer and held together by a cement substance.
In the past few years, there have been several medical advantages on the lung cancer treatment and diagnosis. We found several articles that describe the method used.
Yeah.
One of the methods that we found was the intraoperative ultrasound for localizing lung nodules. This method helps localize the nodules forming the lungs by performing a thoracotomy. It can increase the yield by fiducial market placement and/or increase the image-guided needle localization. This method is normally done before the surgery to make it easier to find the nodules.
Surgical resection is widely used in early stages of non-small cell lung cancer. Surgical resection is the removal of abnormal tissue, mostly cancerous. Improved technology can now mirror an open operation through VATS, video-assisted thoracoscopic surgery. This decreases the risk of anomalies during the operation, and it only has a 6.6% fatality rate.